It is written in every law book and other resources, as we all know, that cuteness is justice, cute is justice, and thus anyone who is cute cannot be guilty of any sins. I don't make the rules, I just tell you them. And with that knowledge, let's keep playing this case here. The IS-7 incident 18 years ago, Gregory Edgeworth's last case. Isaac Dover was murdered at the venue of a dessert contest. Dessert. And his body was discovered in the chocolate treasure chest made by Jeff Master. Chocolate treasure chest is such a lovely image, but then it's ruined by this. The victim died from blood loss after being struck in the head with a rock salt lamp. The murder weapon was found hidden inside Delicious Candy Castle. Then, in the victim's room, where no one had searched yet, all of Dover's Sherbet sculptures had melted. Yeah, we saw that happen. But there's more! Back in the past, contest venue found in Patio. The sculptures in Dover's room, Mr. Dover's room, have melted. Due to that, Prosecutor von Karma immediately drove us away from the scene. How are we gonna investigate now? And what's with that? Defense attorney's out. Von Karma's methods are deplorable. Well, investigating the crime scene is supposed to be the police's job after all. But you gotta admit, Von Karma's methods are way out of line. Defense attorneys and the police should work together to discover the truth. Raymond, you must realize that not everyone shares the same view as us. Should one expose the truth for the sake of justice, or simply accept things as they appear? Everyone has their own view on what is right and what is wrong. Even if that means convincing an innocent man? Both ourselves and the police are only human, and as humans we all make mistakes. It is for this reason that we defense attorneys exist, so that those who are alone and helpless can have an ally on their side. An ally on their side. We cannot investigate, shouldn't we just find some other way to help? I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I still have much to learn. You're still young, so you'll have many opportunities to learn. Right, I'll do my best. Yeah, we'll see about that. Monsieur Edgeworth and Monsieur Shields, would you like to take a brief respite? I think it's respite. I know it's not much, but please eat these. Oh yeah, chocolate. Wow, thank you. Mr. Master's favorite food, apparently. Quite misshapen, I see. Let's eat. I appreciate getting some sugar into my system, but these are a little too sweet. What the fuck, Gregory? Get the fuck out of my screen. You're fired. Fuck you. And it's a little misshapen too. I'm terribly sorry. Does it not suit your tastes? Not at all. It's deliciously sweet. Hee. Thank you very much. But making sweets isn't really my forte. Huh? You made this chocolate, Kate? Yes, chocolate is Monsieur Master's favorite food. Good man. Good man. Obviously innocent. Let me add something to the title of this stream. Also, if you like chocolate, you cannot be guilty. Clearly. Like, literally impossible. Preparing his favorite food is also part of my job. But I'm still not that good at it, so I need him to instruct me. I envy Master Jeff. He gets to eat Kate's handmade sweets whenever he wants. Did you say something? Ah, no, it's nothing. this is so sweet, in more ways than one. Miss Hall, you seem very dedicated to your work. Without my work, I wouldn't even have the right to be here. What do you mean? When I was a child, I was abandoned. Monsieur Master took me in. Oh shit. One snowy Christmas Eve, I was left on the doorstep of this mansion. I owe Monsieur Master my life. He became like a father to me. And so, to repay his kindness, I want to continue working for him. We have a motive for sure now. For the crime 18 years from now. Or in the present, however you want to look at it. Kate, you're incredible. I've lived a long life. Yet that brought tears even to my eyes. Today, Christmas Eve has finally arrived once more. But it looks like I won't be able to give him the present I prepared. I would do anything if it meant saving Monsieur Master. Anything, huh? If there's any way I could be of service to you, please ask. Yes, I appreciate that. Well then, do you happen to know anything about the victim, Isaac Dover? I don't really know much about Monsieur Dover, but I have a photo of the desserts he made for the contest finals. Thank you. This is certainly a splendid piece of work. Yes, with this exquisite beauty, it's truly a work of art. It's crafted so intricately that you almost forget it's made out of sherbet. Sherbet. Maybe I should have just looked up what how it's pronounced, but oh well. It seems Monsieur Master was also fond of Monsieur Dover's work as well. Also as well. Wow, these are the Taurus and Gemini constellations. Do you know a lot about constellations, Raymond? Of course. There's so much romance in the constellations. For example, take the club, lyre and arrowhead by Gemini here. These come from... Huh? There are no strings on this lyre. Did Mr. Dover make a mistake in his sculpting? It's hard to think he would make a mistake like that. Huh? I thought you said you didn't know that much about him. I just sort of felt that way somehow. It appears she's hiding something from us. Miss Hall, did you take this photograph yourself? Yes, I took it with this instant camera. Is it the exact same model that Ray used in the present? Because it looks like the exact same. It's one of my greatest treasures. Wow, I would love to see it in action. Hehe. Well then, why don't we take a picture right now? Yay, let's have our picture taken, Mr. Edgeworth. Sure, I don't mind. I'm confident in my hairstyle today. Alright, I'm taking the picture. Say cheese. There's a ghost in the photo! Ah! Here it's developed. A present from me to you, Monsieur Shields. Wow, thank you so much. That's such a great camera. It's the only camera in this mansion. Unfortunately, its convenience comes at a cost. There are no negatives. No negatives, huh? Is this the same camera Mr. Master used during the contest? Yes, you are well informed. While he made his desserts, Monsieur Master photographed his work. After that, he took photos of all the other competitors' works. Huh? Was he taking photos at the time the body was found? The body was discovered during the judging, was it not? Monsieur Masters intended to take photos of everyone's rooms, but after he photographed Gustavia's room, he ran out of film. Well, that's a bummer. Monsieur Master asked me to change the film in the camera. It seemed the film he prepared in advance wasn't enough. There wasn't enough film? It seems the number of photos he took didn't match up with the amount of film remaining. Well, he told me himself it might have been just a mistake, though. Was it really just a mistake? Probably not. I retrieved more film from the main building and went back to the fountain patio. And it was then that I heard the sound of something breaking in Monsieur Master's room. Monsieur Master, are you in there? And we've seen or heard the rest before. Eek. And that's when I found Monsieur Dover's body in Monsieur Master's room. It was so terrible, I was really shaken up. Before I spoke to anyone else, I called the police. This camera, I've kept it with me ever since. I see. If it's alright with you, would you mind lending me your camera and that photo? Sure, I don't mind at all. Here you go. Huh, okay. Thank you very much. Hey, let's take some sweet selfies, yo. Detective Bad, Mr. Licious, is the investigation over already? He said he had no more use for me and kicked me out. I wonder if that thunder's caught on the mic. There's a nice rain going on here right now. I appreciate it. Manny, that meanie. What a rude thing to say. It was probably to ensure that you wouldn't eat any more of the crime scene. So, Detective Bad, did you get kicked out too? Seems from Karma thought I was getting in the way. He won't let me investigate. Why would he prohibit his own detective from investigating? Because he's a meanie, as Miss Delicious just said. But we'd know just about all there is to know about the crime scene. Right now, he's talking to Gustavia in Dover's room. Why does he need to speak to Mr. Gustavia? We heard from Hall that Gustavia was seen entering the victim's room. Mr. Gustavia? Yes, I saw him entering Dover's room, and it seemed like he was trying to avoid being seen. Although I have no idea what he did in there. The rain's getting kinda strong, maybe I should close my window. It'll be fine. Probably. Although I have no idea what he did in there. He is currently under suspicion for melting Dover's sherbet. Just why did Mr. Gustavia enter that room? I also have a photo of Dover's room here if you need it. I'll let you take a look at it. What? Why would you do that for us? You still don't get it, kid. I'm saying I want to help you guys in order to discover the truth of this case. Detective Bad? Is that alright, Detective Bad? Won't Von Karma chew you out again? I have no intention of becoming Von Karma's lapdog. If he won't let me investigate, I'll just do as I like. Getting tied up in stupid rules will only bind you to the truth. Blind you, not bind you. Isn't that right, Attorney Edgeworth? Of course, Detective Bad. Thank you. This is amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Now we've got Detective Bad on our side. Detective Bad joined the party. I don't really get what's going on, but I'm glad you boys are all friends now. I'm grateful that he'll lend us his strength. Well then, can we see the photo now? Right. This is the current state of Dover's room. Wow, the sherbet has completely melted. The room is drenched in a light blue liquid, or the lights are just blue. We should compare this with the photo Miss Hall took. Did the sherbet melt because the power cord was pulled out? Yeah, because it was pulled. All of the refrigerated glass cases lost power completely. Look at all the power cords look, it looks like all the power cords were connected to one socket. Do you have any idea when this cord was pulled out? No, it's still under investigation at the moment. What a waste of beautiful sherbet. Honestly, had I known it would end up like this, I would have eaten even more of the stuff. Did Mr. Dover's sherbet taste that good? Oh yes, see, the sherbet was most delicious. Really, I wish I could have eaten some too. But there was one piece that was so salty I couldn't eat it. Salty? It's right there in this photo. It was a part of that lyre. That's the lyre from the Gemini constellation. Ah, he snuck a bite from the lyre, that's why the strings are missing. Why? I could never have eaten that much, it was way too salty. One part of the sherbet tasted different, that's rather curious. Did someone other than her also take a bite out of it? Did you notice anything else? Now that you mention it, Icy's sherbet sculptures had these strange markings on them. They had two letters carved into them. Wait a minute. There. It looks something like this. An alphabet signature? It can't be. I knew it. I just knew that Monsieur Dover made this lyre. He isn't the one to make mistakes. He isn't one to make mistakes in his sculptures after all. Miss Hall, it's been troubling me for a while, but... Do you know something about Mr. Dover? Huh? Why would I know something about Monsieur Dover? Cute little dance there. Nervous dancing. You seem quite attached to Mr. Dover's handiwork. That's just because his sculptures are such great works of art. No, I believe that his works are very special to you in particular. How do you know that? There's a piece of evidence that we believe belongs to Mr. Dover. And it happens to share a common feature with another piece of evidence. Please show me, I have no idea what you're talking about. Which two pieces of evidence share something in common? Two pieces of evidence that point to Mr. Dover. Let's start by presenting the first one. I mean, this here, right? Take that! And now the second piece of evidence, which shares a common feature is... Do we have that on... Is that on here? No. Is that on here? No. Is it on here, on the bottom? No. Where was it? There was another piece where that logo was on. Is it this? Was it on here? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Delicia saw two letters on of the alphabet. They were probably used as Miss Dover's signature, just as an artist would sign their name on their works. Alright. Oh, I remember now. Icy's sherbet sculptures had a PH carved into them. I'm sure of it. PH. Those aren't Isaac Dover's initials, though. No, but we found this seal at the scene of the crime. It had probably fallen out of the late Mr. Dover's pocket. If you had pressed this seal onto something, it would mark the letters PH. Also, the very same PH symbol is engraved into this teapot. The same symbol. This teapot was made by the sculptor Pierre Hoquet. In other words, this PH is the signature of Pierre Hoquet. Miss Hall, do you know about the signature all? You know about this signature all too well, don't you? Yes, Monsieur Hoquet's works always bear that signature. Since he never shows himself in public, his signature is used to identify his works. No way. You saying Pierre Hoquet is... It seems Detective Bat has also realized Isaac Dover's true identity. To Miss Hall, Mr. Dover was no ordinary pastry chef. That's because his true identity was... a fan of sculptures. A sculptor. That's right. Mr. Dover's true identity was the sculptor Pierre Hoquet, or maybe the other way around. What? Mr. Dover was a sculptor? Things like signatures can be faked if you have the original designs. Can you really use that as proof that he was a sculptor? No, but what's important here is that Miss Hall thought he was. As for providing his real identity, I'll leave that to the police. Proving, not providing. I get it. I'll have the boys check up on it. As expected from you, Gregory Edgeworth. You knew Mr. Dover's real identity all along, didn't you? Yes. When I discovered the body, I noticed the seal. I knew from that moment he was Pierre Hoquet, the man I greatly admired. Thinking that this would be his final posthumous work, I just couldn't sit still. So what did you do? That's why you entered Dover's room. Huh? What did you say? When exactly did you take this photo of Dover's room? That was... Perhaps this was taken during the judging. Objection! That's strange. I thought you said the camera ran out of film during the judging. Before Mr. Masters entered Dover's room, you were the one in possession of the camera. Wasn't that why you were able to take the photo when you discovered the body? Yes, that's right. The only photos you took with the new film were of Dover's room and the body. If that's the case, a new contradiction comes to light. Another one? The piece of evidence that contradicts the two photos Miss Hall took is... Hold on, let me drink a little bit. Alright. The two photos are this one. Well, I guess delicious testimony. Sure, Dover's sherbet was mostly delicious. No. Contest rules. The rules of the contest are written on this piece of paper, right? Will be judged starting from the left. Afterwards, all parties submit up. Any decorations up. Entering another contestant's room before the judging is done is prohibited. Maybe this? I'm not sure this would apply to her, but that's fine. No. Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't paying attention. My logic is the only thing contradictory here. If I think back on the number of photos she took, the answer should be clear. I already carry the evidence that shows the contradiction. So is there another photo? Because I don't think I have that. Those photos instantly has a capacity for 20 photos, but there's only film for 3 more. Well. Did you take 2 photos here? No. Do I have it? Wait, maybe this? No. That's not a photo. The only key that can unlock the rooms in the mansion was Mr. Master's possession. I mean this, I guess, but I don't know how this really relates to the 2 photo thing. But I'll try anyway. Nope. If I think back on the number of photos she took, the answer should be clear. I already carry the evidence that shows the contradiction. Contradicts the 2 photos. I have no clue, actually. Wait, I can check these? Hey, I can check these. I never did that before, did I? Maybe there's something to be found here that I just never, got. Even though he said that we have the evidence already, but you know. A blue cloth. I like this relaxing color. As expected of Mr. Edgeworth. That's so old school. Come on, let's hurry and make it glow. Yes. Does he mean I'm old-fashioned? Where's the switch? There's some. Ah, there are some switches over here. They probably control the color of the cloth. Raymond, try pressing one. Wow. Cloth has started to glow. The car has started to move. Or what was it? I don't know. So it's so mesmerizing. I could look at it all day. Really? It's just kind of a fluorescent cloth. That's not that interesting, I'd say. But hey, who am I to judge? The rainbow light device has made the cloth glow with light blue aura. Speaking of which, one set of this cloth and device has gone missing. I wonder where it went to. I don't have the answer to that, but it could be related to the case. It sure could. But I guess that's all we're getting out of this piece. That didn't help. Oh man. I have no fucking idea right now. Do we just present the photo itself like I thought at the very beginning? But that doesn't really make sense, does it? Oh well. Nope. I have no idea. Let's present this photo then. Nope. This doesn't usually happen. Like me having no idea. Did we already present the camera? Why? How? Why does that contradict anything right now? Like, the fact that it has only 3, shots left doesn't really tell us. So, what do you want with that? That is my instant camera. You've already handed the photos of Dover's room and the body to myself and the police. That reminds me, didn't you also take a photo of me and Miss Edgeworth just now? The film used in this camera can make up to 20 photos. However, this camera only has 3 photos left. So what? She could have taken photos of anything. Literally anything at any time. She was frivolously taking a photo of us just now, which tells us that she could have been taking photos of literally anything the entire time. I don't think this is any kind of argument right now. I hope they explain more, because I really don't think this is an argument for why this contradicts anything. Which leaves 14 photos unaccounted for. Exactly what were they used to photograph? Please show us all the photos you took. We will be able to discern your actions from these photos. I'm so sorry. I have told a terrible lie. Okay, fine. Don't tell me all of the remaining shots are of Isaac Dover's room. My deepest apologies. It seems they are all shots of the ice sculptures from various angles. So when these were taken, the sculptures had not melted yet. But that means the one who caused them to melt was you. Yes, I am positive that I melted them. You are positive? I am an aficionado of the sculptor Pierre Hoquet, who is actually Monsieur Dover. Before the authorities could defile his final masterpieces during their investigation, I thought I should preserve them through photographs, hence I entered his room. In that case, why did all the ice melt? It's probably because, as I was taking the pictures, I became entranced with his works. And it seems that my foot accidentally got caught in the power cord unplugging it. Accidentally, you say? I did not notice the power cord at the time. I would have never imagined that I would be the cause of those sculptures melting. Could the truth really be that simple? However, I cannot say with certainty that she is lying. I'm so sorry to have caused you all so much trouble. As long as you are telling the truth, there's no need to apologize. That's right. Don't sweat it, Kate. Thank you very much. Edgeworth. Here, take this picture. Do what you want with it. Okay. Let's take a look. After this little bit here. You meddling fools still haven't given up yet, have you? Well, first I'm gonna give this another look. Okay. That's what I thought. Just had to make sure it's, you know, that's the photo we got. Anything else different? Well, there's a machine missing. But we'll get to that. No matter how long you wait, I have no intention of allowing a defense attorney to investigate. No matter. If we can't investigate, we'll find the truth through some other method. Always ready with a comeback. Well, do try your best. Excuse me, Monsieur von Karma. The truth is, it was I who melted the ice sculptures in Monsieur Dover's room. What? What's the meaning of this, you clod? I'm truly sorry, both of you and Monsieur Gustavia. Do not be concerned about me. Sir von Karma has already recognized that I had no hand in this act. That reminds me. Why did you enter Mr. Dover's room, Mr. Gustavia? Well, that was because... Silence, ignoramus. You are not to give the attorney the tiniest hint of information. Catherine Hall, you are coming with me. You are under suspicion of being complicit in the murder. Huh? No. I shall be interrogating you personally. You best prepare yourself. Very well. Please wait, I still have some questions I want to ask her. I do not care for your sorry plight in the least. Bad, Gustavia, and while I'm at it, you as well, scones. I have plenty of questions for you all. Understood. Fine. While I'm at it, he says, the nerve. Well, that just leaves us two here. And some guard in the corner over there. He just took everyone away with him. Yes, even if we stay here, I don't think we'll be able to investigate any further today. Let's take our leave for now. It has already grown rather late. I hope the snow has stopped by now. Sounds good. You hungry? I'm starving anyway. Let's stop somewhere for hamburgers then, before my stomach joins the chorus. Hey, can't fight on an empty stomach after all. We'll need to report back to Mr. Master with our findings first thing tomorrow. To be continued, well. That was a quick one for sure. Despite messing up in that one part so much. Jeez. I should have just gone with the camera. It was kind of the obvious one, but like from the text it had on it, I really just didn't think that it made much sense to present. And I was wrong. Hello. Huh? What are you doing here, Kate? Monsieur Shields and Monsieur Edgeworth. Allow me to apologize once again for all the trouble I caused you yesterday. Miss Hall looks a bit tired. Has von Karma finished interrogating you? Yes, aside from what happened to the ice sculptures, I was not at fault for anything else. Are you also here to meet Master Jeff, Kate? Yes, I am worried about how he is holding up. Hey, that's not Mr. Masters. Mr. Master. Detective Bad, why are you here? I just happened to be here. I'll be heading to the crime scene soon. I don't think this is a place that people happen to be, though. Oh, his hair has kind of changed color a little bit. Hello. Master Jeff, what happened to you? Oh no, Monsieur Master, why do you look so poor? I didn't get much sleep last night. The tribulation known as questioning was rather harsh. I'm just a little exhausted. They didn't let you sleep. Even for an interrogation, that's going too far, Detective Bad. The detective in charge of the initial investigation was also in charge of the interrogation. I don't like Fonkama's methods, but this was all I could do. He was the one who brought me here. It seems I was supposed to be interrogated for a little bit longer, though. It seems that Detective Bad is looking out for Mr. Master in his own way. Rough stuff. So, shall we inform Mr. Master about what happened yesterday, Raymond? Yes, sir. I got all my memos right here. Mr. Master, we would like to inform you about yesterday's investigation. Yes, thank you very much. Please go ahead. Master Jeff, it's almost like your spirit's gone. My sugar levels are low, so I might not seem like my usual energetic self. Monsieur Master, do we have anything that can give his spirit and his glucose a boost? We do. You want some of oops? You want some of this, bitch? Oh, those chocolates. Are you giving them to me? Ah, those chocolates are... If possible, I would like to give them to you immediately. But it's against the rules to give anything to the suspects in the detention center. I see. Regrettably, if those are the rules, then there's nothing we can do about it. Are you sure there's no way we can give them to him? Detective Bad. Looks like he noticed what we're trying to ask of him. Tch. I'll inspect the chocolates, and if there are no problems, I'll think about it. Detective Bad. Thank you very much. Alright, I knew we could count on you, Detective Bad. I am truly in your debt. Wait right here. And so we wait. And so the wait is over. Take it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Not a word to anyone else. It would cause problems for me later. Yes, of course. I apologize for making you go through so much trouble. Now I shall partake in eating these delicious delights at once. I'm sorry for asking you to do something so dangerous, Detective Bad. I only did what I wanted to do. Why can't you just be honest here, Detective? Oh, how sweet. It's like I've come back to life. Oh, did Kate make these chocolates? Yes, sir, I did. How does it taste? And he springs back into song. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Sweet chocolate melting in my mouth. So sweet, so divine. I kind of made it work there. Thank you for the tasty treat. Oh, they're a bit misshapen, but so sweet and delicious. Thank you. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And above all, it helped you regain your spirits. Thank you for your concern. The food they serve here has been absolutely tasteless. And combined with a lack of sleep, I was thoroughly exhausted. Is the food here all that bad? Just salt beef and stew, your average prison fare. That doesn't sound so bad. That is odd. I really could not taste anything. Huh? Whatever, I'm about to head out to the crime scene. Please wait, Detective Bad. Can you give us any new information? Yeah, I think I can. We've identified the victim. Just as you said, Isaac Dover was a sculptor who worked in France. It seems he went by the name Pierre Hoquet. Isaac Dover was Pierre Hoquet. How could that be? Monsieur Pierre Hoquet. So Pierre Hoquet wasn't actually French, huh? Which is likely why he never showed himself in public while he worked under that name. The Zodiac Sculptures, they were his masterpieces, it seems. Although they will remain forever unfinished. Unfinished, even though they were his masterpieces? It seems he worked on them by season. Once he finished the remaining winter constellations, his work would be done. Huh. The winter constellations are Taurus and Gemini, right? So those ice sculptures were his final pieces. It is heartbreaking that they melted. I cannot apologize enough. Ah, no, I wasn't blaming you or anything. Also, Dover was infamous for being greedy. He would charge hundreds of thousands just to make a single sculpture. It seems like he always had money troubles. The murder might be related to that, but it's still under investigation. So he had money problems even though he was a famous artist. Do you know why he entered a dessert contest? Not yet. He kept it a secret, even from his family. I see. So he had a family. It's time. I'm bringing in the replacement guard. I can't hang around here any longer than I have. Yes, I understand. Let's meet again later. At the crime scene. That detective is a kind soul. Indeed. He never strays from his own beliefs. He truly has a strong will. But he's pretty scary when you first meet him. I see. Could you tell me everything that happened yesterday? Of course, allow me to give you a report of our investigation. Blah blah blah. So this is what happened. I'm sorry for the trouble Kate has caused you. I'm truly very sorry. You have no need to worry, so long as you take as you have told the truth, Miss Hall. Mr. Master, would you mind if I asked you a few questions as well? Yes, I shall divulge all that I know. Well then, what do you know about the contestants? Please tell us about the other 3 contestants in the final round of your contest. Let's see, Miss Delicious Desserts had a fantastic design. However, she broke the rules, so I could not recognize her as the winner. Up until the semifinals, Mr. Gustavia's flavors and design were to my liking. Unfortunately, both the taste and appearance of his final entry left much to be desired. And there was something strange about his dessert in the semifinals. Something strange. Both Mr. Gustavia's and Mr. Dover's desserts had the exact same taste. They had different designs, but in terms of taste, it was like eating the same thing. What did they look like? Ah, there should be a picture of them at my mansion. Please allow me to show you later. Certainly, thank you very much. And then there was Mr. Dover's Zodiac Sculptures. Oh, they were absolutely heavenly. Did you have a chance to taste his creations? If I recall correctly, his body was discovered in the middle of judging. Yes, but I was not informed of this until after the judging had finished. Since he was not present in the room, I helped myself to a piece of his edible lyre. It was fantastically delicious. I was so moved I broke into song. Well, the salty lyre was delicious to this guy who has some kind of tasting problems. Wait a moment, please. Did you say the lyre was delicious? Could you please give us a little more detail about that? You ate the lyre from the sculpture of Mr. Dover's room, correct? Yes, the one that was in the same glass case as the Gemini sculpture. Please have a look at this picture, Mr. Master. Did you eat from this lyre that's missing the strings? Yes, that lyre originally had strings. However, I ate them all, resulting in what you see here in this picture. Okay. That answers that question. So the strings on the lyre were missing because he ate them. Actually, Delicia ate part of the same lyre that you did. However, she said it was so salty that she could not eat it. You don't say. That means there might be a problem with my sense of taste after all. Yes, there might. A problem with your sense of taste? How so? There is a taste disorder called hypogeusia. Hypogeusia? Geusia? Let's go with hypogeusia. I don't know. Hypogeusia? Hypogeusia, in which you lose the ability to taste salt. Perhaps I have contracted this illness. Contracted. I just never realized it since I eat nothing but sweets. However, I now know with certainty. So that's why I couldn't tell what the food they served here tasted like. No, for a pastry chef to lose all their sense of taste is fatal. Well, if they just make sweets, I guess it's okay. If you can still taste that. Then again, I guess if you, couldn't taste the salt or something, that could still ruin things. Anyway, even if there's treatment for a taste impairment, there isn't a cure for it yet. But it's probably best that you let the police know so you can receive a medical examination. No, that won't be necessary. There's a recipe in my mansion specifically for making the cure. Oh, that's the angel's recipe, huh? A recipe for a drug that will cure your taste impairment. Yes, please look for it later when you return to the mansion. Monsieur Master, but that means revealing the... Kate, we should no longer conceal it from Mr. Gregory. Yes, sir, I understand, if that is what you wish. A recipe for a special drug. Just what are they hiding? The cure-all. Well then, I must be returning to the mansion now, so I will take my leave. Yes, we will be heading there later as well. Kate. What is it, Monsieur Master? You should not live for my sake. You should reconsider your lifestyle, so that you can live by yourself, even if I were no longer around. Oh, that's sad. Please do not say things like that. I simply cannot live without you, Monsieur Master. I promise to wait for you until you return. Excuse me. Ah, Kate. Catherine. Master Jeff, Kate was crying. Why did you say something so cruel? That's not cruel. That's kind. I am worried about her. Catherine always puts me before herself. What do you mean? She collects Pierre Hoquet's works and makes sweets. All to make me happy, nothing more. That is the only reason she does anything. She always puts aside her own preferences and things that she wants to do herself. I want Catherine to choose to live her own life. I do not want her to waste her valuable life because of me. Is that so? Well, sadly, this all backfired a bit, didn't it? He thinks of Miss Hall as his own daughter, and he would want his children to choose their own path in life. And a parent would do anything to protect their own children. That feeling, I also know it well. Well, that should do it for the questions. We must return to the scene of the crime. Ah, it is already time to leave, I see. So will my tribulations of questioning resume? We should take measures against their interrogations from our side as well. Can you ask the police about that? I can, but I have other ways in mind as well. When the time comes... Oh, you are a dependable man. I shall be counting on you. Master Jeff will come here every day with reports of our progress, and will bring Kate too. Yes, thank you very much. I shall be looking forward to it. Mr. Master, now know that the police will be attempting to get you to confess. I am sorry to ask an innocent soul like yourself to bear with these painful experiences. But please hold on for now. If you confess, I am positive that Von Karma will use that to his advantage, I mean obviously. And that will make helping you all that much more difficult. I understand. I shall do my best. If you believe in me until the bitter end, I will definitely get you out of here. Well, sadly, we know that that doesn't quite work out, does it? December 25th. Fountain Patio. What's with the music? Something wrong? Detective Bad, thank you for helping us earlier. Yes, thank you. Thanks for what? Heh. Ahaha, there's no need to be shy about it. Tch. Enough about that. I suppose you intend to investigate today too. Of course, we still need more information to prove Mr. Master's innocence. I'm sorry, but apart from this patio, you're not allowed to investigate anywhere else. What? So you're saying we can't investigate? I'm guessing this is Von Karma's doing. Yeah. Von Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. He still hasn't received the autopsy report. Moreover, the only ones with this in this mansion are Miss Hall and the police. So don't get your hopes up on speaking with the people connected to the case. Von Karma's being completely unreasonable. He's gone too far. Detective Bad, what do you intend to do? I promised I'll do anything I can to assist you. You have my thanks. And my axe. We won't let any of Von Karma's dirty tricks get the best of us. Is what do you think now? Detective Bad, is it alright if we investigate the Fountain Patio? Yes, but we've already finished checking everything, except for the fountain. That's right, that's fine. As long as there is still something, I shall continue investigating. Begin! What's with these instruments? Were they there the day before? I feel like there was other stuff there. Maybe I'm wrong. It seems these musical instruments were used in piece of cake. Of course, these probably aren't made of candy. Detective Bad looks somewhat disappointed. Would be cool if they were made of candy, though. I'm guessing this will give the same results. Hey there, lady. We can't get a look. Ah, yes, we can. The owner of the works in each room are written on this notice board. From the left, Mr. Master, Mr. Gustavia, Mr. Lisha, and Mr. Dover. Incidentally, it would seem the board is also made of candy. Do they plan to eat all this stuff when the contest is over? These angel statues look like they're eating chocolate fondue. I guess they are. It would seem these angel statues are also Pierre Hoquet's work. As expected, they're very well made. Looks just like the real thing. The real thing of angels, so you've seen them. So you've seen a real angel before, Detective Bad? Tch, defense attorneys. Always the first to find fault with everything. Perhaps that was wrong of me. I mean, I had the same reaction, so I can't really blame you. It seems these musical instruments... Okay. So, cop. What's up? What are you investigating exactly? Sir, I'm testing the water in the fountain for foreign matter, sir. Have you found anything? It seems there's both chocolate and sherbet mixed in with the fountain water. And it matches the chocolate from Mr. Jeff Master's room. And the sherbet that melted in Isaac Dover's room. They all share the same composition. The fountain water that circulates through the streams that flow from each of the 4 rooms. Perhaps the melted sherbet flowed into the fountain. Also, someone's blood was detected as well. What are you saying? How could there have been blood in the fountain? Because it flowed through the thing, I guess. Detective Bad, please think back to our investigation of the crime scene. Yep, the bloodstain was removed somehow. Yep. The blood disappeared from the crime scene. Also, part of the treasure chest was missing too. I guess we have heard that the water in that stream thing is warm, so I guess somebody could have placed the chocolate parts that they didn't want, remaining in there, and they would have melted and flown into the patio, into the fountain. Perhaps the blood in the fountain belongs to this person. Isaac Dover, yeah? He's the victim, yeah. That was my only doubt, like, wait, he's the victim, right? The victim. Let's run a comparison with the blood and the murder weapon. Bring! It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. I wonder why the criminal spilled the victim's blood into the fountain. Maybe my theory holds water. Haha, water, get it? Anyway, what's with these Christmas decorations? This leads to Gustavia's room. That's not what I wanted to know. There's a reindeer by the door. There we go. According to the nameplate, it's made entirely of candy. Such splendid antlers, very manly. But a male reindeer's antlers fall off during the winter. So this must be a female. You lawyers always giving out useless information. I think it was pretty interesting to know. What does that have to do with being a lawyer? He just likes saying stuff like that. It's a figure of Santa Claus. I suppose it's also made of candy. Behind that door is Master's room. This Santa is probably another one of his works. Santa, huh? I wonder what I should get my son for Christmas this year. I think he said he wanted an attorney's badge. I wonder if I could ask Mr. Master to make him one of candy. I don't think that's what he would want specifically, but I mean, hey. What an amazing trophy. It's probably Master's. World's greatest pastry chef, huh? It's also made out of candy. It doesn't seem like it would last long. Honor and glory don't last long. I think that's the lesson here. Sure. I don't think it's quite as deep as that. No, it definitely is. Some more trophies. Many of the trophies Master has received are placed here. Besides dessert contests, there are also awards for his charity work. An evident display of both his skill and character. This trophy is to recognize the TV program Piece of Cake for giving children hopes and dreams. Hopes and dreams, now I want to see it too. A great man, apparently. This leads to Delicious room. The snowman here is rather eye-catching. It's made from powdered sugar. Oh, powdered sugar, huh? He's staring at it quite intently. I hope he's not thinking of sneaking a taste. Well, if it was made by Delicia, then it probably doesn't actually contain all that much edible material. It's a Christmas tree made out of table sugar. Thanks to these decorations, this place is on red alert. If even a single ant made it inside, it would be terrible. Indeed, if ants got in here, it would be disastrous. Alright, lady. Cheer up. Let's cheer you up, rather. Telling somebody to cheer up is, I think, not the best thing, usually. Miss Hall, I've come to investigate today. Ah, Monsieur Edgeworth, I apologize for my disgraceful behavior earlier. It's fine. Kate, she still looks a bit down. What must have said earlier must have been a real shock to her. I've prepared the photo I took of the desserts during the semifinals. Please take a look. Pretty cool. Wow, delicious cake is so cute. Monsieur Master also praised the design of delicious work very highly. Monsieur Gustavia's and Dover's works gained high praise for both taste and design, but Monsieur Master said it felt like he was eating the exact same thing twice. What, so those roses, those flowers look exactly the same? But it seems that their desserts had completely different tastes for the finals. Was there anything else that was different between the finals and the semifinals? It's nothing major, but there was something. During the contest, Monsieur Gustavia's son always came to see him, but there was no sign of him at the finals. His son came to visit. I wonder if there is any significance behind that. Would you mind leaving this photo with me? Certainly, anything to aid in the investigation. And here's the recipe book that contains the special drug for curing the taste disorder. That cover looks familiar. Yeah, it does. Wasn't this framed in Master's room? Since it's also the prize for the contest, we put it out on display. So the contest prize, Angel's Recipe, wasn't just a recipe for desserts. That's right, we've informed the participants, but it seems you all don't know yet. Or didn't know yet, I'm not sure what it said. Anyway, so the participants knew about the true contents of the Angel's Recipe. Maybe Gustavia's son also has a disorder like that, a taste disorder. Miss Hall, please tell me all you know about the Angel's Recipe. Okay. So the Angel's Recipe contains the formula for the drug. Yes, it's a recipe book for new drugs that haven't been released to the public yet. If sold to a pharmaceutical company, I'm sure it would fetch a substantial price. Why is something like that a prize in the contest? Monsieur Master is the only heir to the chairman of the Master Group. Master Group? That name sounds familiar. They're a pharmaceutical company who deal in a wide range of products. Ah, they've become a big news recently with the release of Cold Killer X. I often use the Cold Killer products, but I've never once seen you with a cold. Maybe that's exactly why. I would like to hear more about the Master Group. Did Mr. Master not want to follow in his parents' footsteps? Monsieur Master wanted to bring joy to people with his desserts. His parents also wanted him to become a great pastry chef and supported him. When his parents died, the recipe book was left to him as his inheritance. Why would he give away a memento of his parents as a prize in the contest? There were always people who were after it, something which troubled Monsieur Master. But just giving away the memento would have been disrespectful to his parents. So he decided to pass it over to someone who he acknowledged. And the members of the Master Group approved of that. Information about new drugs being passed on to outsiders. Of course, they objected. That's why Delicia participated in the contest. On the order of the Master Group, she was requested to win the championship. So that's the real motive, huh? You knew Delicia's true intentions from the start? Yes, in order for her to win, I told her Monsieur Master's tastes and preferences. Oh. Why would you help her? I helped her in order to protect Monsieur Master and the Master Group. If the drug recipes were given to another company, he would be reprimanded by the board. I wanted to return the recipes to the company in a way that Monsieur Master would accept. So it was due to Miss Hall's help that Delicia was able to reach the finals. Speaking of which, Mr. Dover wasn't a pastry chef either. He sure did well to make it to the finals, considering he's just a sculptor. Yes, for him to be able to make such fine desserts despite being a sculptor. From the sherbet sculptures he made for the finals, it's clear to see that he has great talent, but could he really have made that by himself? Maybe. There's something wrong with something we heard about his makings earlier. That is all I know. Is there anything else I can do to help? To save Mr. Master, she's trying to help as much as she can. May we perhaps have some more of that tea from yesterday, please, Miss Hall? I'm sure that would help us get on with the investigation. Yeah, I'd like some of Kate's tea too. Right, understood. I'll be back in a minute. Kate looks a bit better now. That's nice. Heyo. We've gathered information about all the contestants, and yet we still haven't heard Gustavia's side of the story. That... Right, we weren't allowed to hear about that. That was because... What a jerk. What exactly was he doing in Mr. Dover's room? And moreover, something is odd about his semi-final entry. A pastry chef bad at design and a sculptor skilled only at designing. It would have been extremely difficult for either of them to win the contest alone. Could it be that Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's connection is... Detective Bad. We have reason to suspect the actions of Dane Gustavia. Yeah. It is imperative that we find a way to contact him at once. Oh, this conversation is most interesting. Oh, it's him. However, I cannot allow you to speak with Mr. Gustavia. I have already conducted my investigation of him. It is not necessary for him to speak any further, especially to a mere defense attorney. Tisk, but I will answer your questions in that fool's place. It seems Von Karma intends to prevent me from meeting Gustavia in person. I understand. In that case, I have but one thing to ask you. Yes? I would like to know the relationship between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. Gustavia and Dover's relationship. It's obvious the only relationship they had was that they happened to participate in the same contest. Well, short and sweet. That's it. I mean, why would he say anything else? There's nothing more to say. What? How are we supposed to understand anything from so little? Well, that makes it really easy to know where to present stuff. If we really want Von Karma to divulge the truth, we have no choice but to present evidence. It's all too obvious that he's hiding something. Gustavia and Dover's lab. Oops, sorry. Actually, that's not the one. Okay, here we go. Don't you think this is a little strange? Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like you to look at these desserts. The desserts were made for the contest semi-finals. Don't you think these two have a particularly impressive design? Just what are you getting at? These two desserts were made by Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. I wouldn't exactly call Mr. Gustavia's design skills praiseworthy, and yet for the semi-finals he was able to produce something comparable to Mr. Dover's. Furthermore, these two desserts have the exact same flavor. What are you trying to say? I'm saying it's possible they collaborated with each other on their entries. Prosecutor von Karma, please take a closer look at their desserts. At first glance, they may look completely different. But even though the designs are different, it's clear they were made from the same materials.
Is that so?
The same flavor and composition. It's impossible to dismiss their similarity as coincidence. The very existence of these two desserts points to a link between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover.
Since you already know this much, I'll tell you the truth.
Jeez. Did von Karma know about their collaboration? Of course he did.
However, what I am about to say is not going to help your case at all.
We'll see about that.
If you want to know about Gustavia and Dover's connection so badly, I'll tell you. Last night, when I interrogated Gustavia, he told me about his connection with Dover. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together.
Well, yeah. You knew about their cooperation all this time, didn't you? Why did you conceal the truth?
I would appreciate it if you didn't sully my reputation. Until I explain my points in court, I avoid giving away unnecessary details. I was merely saving your time.
How can he act like this and keep the truth from us? His concealment of the truth is something I simply cannot ignore.
I don't really see much of a point in pressing this, but I'll do it anyway. Anyway.
Oh, what the fuck. It seems you knew about their real connection all along. Why did you hide it from us?
Tusk, tusk, tusk. I would never divulge information to a mere insect such as yourself so easily. I am not a fool like that detective after all.
Hey man, this detective ain't no fool.
I was just doing things my way. It was because you defied me that he gained his information in the first place.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Present time. Last night, that was after Mr. Dover's sculptures had melted, right?
Yes, afterwards I went to interrogate Gustavia personally.
Interrogated by von Karma? Sounds scary. Knowing Mr. Gustavia, I feel like he probably tried to meditate through the interrogation.
The moment he closed his eyes, I snapped my fingers, like so, to show him that no one remained silent in front of me.
And did that have any effect?
Because of that, I was able to get a perfect confession out of his connection with Dover. About his confection with Dover, yes. Also true.
Wait, did I... Yes, I did. Wait.
Yeah. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together.
Why do you think Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover collaborated?
Why? Because Gustavia had poor design sense and Dover was a novice at baking. Without the help of each other, they would never have made it through a single round.
If so, what was their mutual goal? Why cooperate until the finals?
The finals will be fought on our own merits, Gustavia said, and he ended their collaboration. Gustavia's goal was to obtain the title of the world's greatest pastry chef. It seems his pride as a pastry chef won out in the end. Victory in the finals would certainly have been hollow had he cheated.
So he believes that their cooperation only went as far as the semifinals. But what if it really continued through the finals? Prosecutor von Karma, could you explain their cooperation in a little more detail?
Very well. Why? Because Gustavia had poor design sense and Dover was a novice at baking.
Well, that poor design sense... Wait, no, that's Dover's. But it was supposedly really tasty, right? 2 photos, blah blah, touch to now. Doesn't say anything about the taste. Well then again, it was also salty, so I guess that checks out. Sherbet was most delicious. Okay, so most of it was delicious. Maybe that's enough? Let's try. Nope. It sure is. Well. Okay. I guess let's press it first. Concerning your statement about Mr. Gustavia's designs, I have no objections to that. I have no objections either. He's got no sense of style. He has no grace. This sculptor has a funny face. When I saw him attempting to fashion my likeness with candy, just thinking about it disgusts me. I actually liked his candy crafting though. A novice pastry chef and one with no sense of design. It's only natural such pathetic specimens would associate with each other. Oh, wait. Oh. I didn't think... Okay, well... So maybe that's where we present this. Aha, okay, well, I guess... I thought that was, the previous statement was the last one, but no. You say that Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover did not collaborate during the finals. That's strange. Delicia testified that Dover's sherbet was most delicious. Being a novice chef, I doubt he could have done all that by himself. Perhaps the two of them cooperated during the finals as well. Defense attorney, how many times do I have to tell you? Delicious Scone's subjective opinion cannot be admitted as evidence. There's still a chance that a novice chef could make something tasty. My wife is an amateur, yet her cooking rivals that of the world-class chefs. How is that not a subjective opinion? Moreover, even if you take this pharmacist's testimony to be true, it changes nothing. She also mentioned that a part of his sherbet was very salty, which means you can hardly call his entry for the finals perfect. Ah! Tisk, tisk, tisk. What, no more objections? I was honestly seeing the same problem with that line of reasoning, but I couldn't think of anything else. Is there no way I can prove their collaboration? Mr. Edgeworth, there's something that's been bugging me. What is it? The desserts Mr. Dover made for the finals would have taken a long time to make, right? Indeed, they were frozen sculptures after all. How would he have had the time to sculpt it after it was frozen? Hello, Mr. F. Let alone help Mr. Gustavia with his design as well. The way I see it, just waiting for the sherbet to freeze would have used up all his time. Well, I'm above the law, so I can say whatever I want. And do whatever I want. Just how was he able to make those sherbet sculptures? Raymond, you may have a promising future after all. Thanks to you, I have noticed one more possibility. I think you are incorrect with that. I am clearly above the law. That's right, Mr. Dover's sherbet needed time to freeze properly. And the contest's time limit would not have been enough. The method Mr. Dover used to make his sherbet within the time limit was It was prepared in advance. It was frozen on that day. They weren't desserts. It was prepared in advance? Huh? If the sherbet was prepared in advance, all he'd need to do was sculpt it.
You, just what are you mumbling about?
Please excuse me, I finally realized your earlier view was correct.
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? What are you doing? Oh, so you're finally admitting defeat.
No, all I am admitting to is the truth of one of your statements. Dover and Gustavia's collaboration lasted only until the day before the finals. It is exactly as you said, they only cooperated until the day before the finals. The sculptures in Mr. Dover's room were all made out of sherbet. Such an amount would most likely need to be left overnight to freeze, and the reason the strings are the only part that was salty is because that's the only part that he, had to prepare himself, I guess. Which means Mr. Gustavia prepared Mr. Dover's sherbet in advance the day before.
That's right, so you realize Gustavia's cooperation ended the day before the finals.
Which was also the day before Christmas. No wait, that was the 23rd then, I guess. Whatever. Then why did Mr. Dover not help Mr. Gustavia in return?
The views of the dead are of no concern to me.
We still haven't seen Gustavia's work, have we? If you aren't going to answer that, I'll need to get in touch with Mr. Gustavia himself. Or was your investigation not quite as thorough as you claim?
You ingrate. You dare mock me?
That was not my intention, but I do have a problem with your attitude. I want you to give us a clear reason why we can't speak to Mr. Gustavia in person.
It's because I killed him. A clear reason? Gustavia and Dover's collaboration has no bearing on this case.
You claim their collaboration's irrelevant. If Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's relationship had turned sour, it could serve as a motive for murder.
You're saying that Gustavia and Dover's collaboration was linked to the motive for the murder? If that were the case, why did he not conceal it? After all, we found out about his collaboration from Mr. Gustavia himself. If you really are a lawyer, show us evidence that gives us reason to suspect Gustavia.
Only one of Mr. Gustavia's actions has been suspicious so far. Doubtless Von Karma already knows of this fact. This could be a trap by Von Karma.
Huh. What's wrong, defense attorney? Not gonna answer?
But I mustn't back down now. Mr. Gustavia sneaked into Mr. Dover's room. His reasons for this are currently unclear. But the very fact he secretly entered the victim's room is reason enough to suspect him. It's gotta be those prints on the thing, right?
If that's the extent of it,
I can't dispel those doubts. I'm kind of tired of saying tisk tisk tisk, you know? Anyway. I knew it. Was it a trap after all?
I was intending to save this for the courtroom, but I'll make a special exception. We wouldn't want to prolong the trial with unnecessary information, would we? Take a look at this.
Their sons are friends, I guess? This is
a photo of Gustavia and Dover and their sons. Gustavia entered Dover's room in order to steal this photo.
Oh. To steal the photo?
It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. Apparently he thought that he'd be suspected if people found out he and Dover were acquainted. Yes, just like you're doing now.
Why would he even have that photo in that room? Dover, I mean. That's a little weird.
There's nothing suspicious about Gustavia's actions. No further room for argument.
Gah! Don't be hit so hard by that. He's still adamant on not letting us meet Mr. Gustavia.
I have an investigation to return to. I have no more time to waste on the likes of you.
Hold it! Objection! Nobody's gonna do it? Curse that von Karma, calling us a waste of time. What should we do, Miss Edgeworth? At this rate, Master Jeff will be... Von Karma is busy. Of course. Why would he be so busy? Both the body and murder weapon have been found, and he already has his suspect. The police should have more than enough evidence to prove Mr. Master's guilt. If that's the case, then why is Mr. von Karma still investigating the crime scene? Because he wants to snack on all the candy! Mr. Edgeworth, is there something wrong? It seems I have been overlooking a matter of vital importance. Considering that he already has the evidence he needs to convict Mr. Master. I feel that that von Karma isn't as composed as he should be. He didn't even tell Detective Bad the full results of the investigation. He's on edge. But not on Edgeworth! What? Still no autopsy report. Furthermore, something vanished from the crime scene, and we still don't know why. The bloodstain, yeah. I mean, I'll take it. But the strangest thing we found wasn't in Mr. Master's room at all. What then? Right, the fountain. Yep. I still think my theory is pretty okay about how that blood got there. Mr. Doe's blood vanished from Mr. Master's room and then somehow found its way into the fountain. What does this mean? I can tell you, especially if you force me to go into this, and this clearly isn't related to these two right now. Making this kind of easy, but that's okay. Shabam! Although the victim's blood wasn't found in Mr. Master's room, it was detected in the water fountain. There would be no need for the killer to conceal the bloodstains after the body was found. It's unnatural that only the bloodstains that were found with the body disappeared. Unless the body was moved, the blood would have still remained on the chocolate. Don't tell me someone removed the body and then erased the bloodstains? Well, I mean, what do I do here? I'm stuck. This is too hard. This game is too hard. Shit, dude. What do I do? This is impossible. Like, there's no way this is gonna work. Oh my god! I'm a fucking genius! It's possible that the body was removed from the crime scene, and the autopsy report still has not arrived. Although we have a murder weapon and a suspect, we don't know much about the body. I've been investigating under the assumption that the body had been discovered. Perhaps this assumption was wrong from the very beginning. Why didn't von Karma give Detective Bad the autopsy report? To understand that, yes, I must turn my logic around. My thinking shouldn't be why is von Karma... Somehow my brain always wants to put a Mr. in front of these names. Why is von Karma hiding information about the body? But rather, what if von Karma doesn't even have the information to begin with? What happens if I think of it like that? It's possible that the body wasn't removed by the police for autopsy. It was moved and hidden by the real killer. Mr. Edgeworth? I've heard many dark rumors surrounding von Karma. He's a prosecutor who forges evidence, fabricates testimonies, and makes backroom deals. Yeah, I've heard that too, but what does that have to do with this? I try to avoid judging others based on rumors, and I didn't let those rumors influence my opinion on Von Karma until today. It seems he is a man who would distort the truth. Distort the truth? You don't mean forgery? I do. And I can't allow him to get away with this. Let's get our gun and shoot him dead. That would cause quite the paradox. I must return to the prosecutor's office for now. Not a word to that attorney. Roger. Why do they keep calling me Roger? I don't understand. Wait, no, that was Edgeworth doing that. But it started with his father. See, they have the same thing. Anyway. What do you want, defense attorney? I want to know the truth that you've been hiding. Fool, are you trying to mislead the police's investigation again? When have we done that before? If you interfere with the investigation anymore, I'll be forced to reprimand you myself. Objection! Police? No, my objection is with you. What? Isn't it the prosecutor's job to ensure justice for criminals? What are you saying? I have no time to debate the truth as the job of a prosecutor with you. However, I will tell you one thing. My job is to ensure all those I prosecute are found guilty. Before the perfect proof, there can be no room for doubt. Objection! And to find that perfect proof, you would even stoop to forgery? Ha! I was wondering what you were going on about. You intend to accuse me of forgery, don't you? I mean, yeah, that's what I just did. and it's for that reason you did not allow Detective Bat to investigate. What do you mean? The real reason Detective Bat wasn't investigating was not so he could keep an eye on us. It was to hide the fact that you never found the body. What? They never found the body? You cretins, you will cease with these ludicrous accusations. I will not tolerate any further insults. In that case, let us verify the body. If you do, we will have evidence that shows whether I am right or not. The burden of proof falls on you, defense attorney. I have no reason to comply with your baseless conjecture. You must have noticed it too, the lack of blood stains at the crime scene. So why did the blood vanish? And more importantly, where did it go? Foolishness. Why would anyone erase just the blood in the chest that contained the body? Yes, that's exactly right. If the body had been found there, the disappearing bloodstains would have no meaning at all. However, what if the body was already gone? To erase the traces of the body being there, one would have to get rid of the bloodstains as well. Why make such a fuss over those bloodstains? It seems like a trivial matter to me. Maybe... What's his name again? Maybe Dover was also made out of candy, and so he also melted in the warm water. That's definitely the truth, and definitely a serious opinion that I have. Or are you saying that you can't show me where those bloodstains went? In court, everything must be said with evidence. Isn't that right, Von Karma? In that case, I'll show you the evidence supporting my claim. Which piece of evidence shows where the blood in Mr. Master's room went? Do we have a bit of a statement? Victim's blood. Dover's blood was found in the fountain water. Yes, that's the one. There were traces of the victim's blood found in the fountain. That's why it's called the fountain. Because you found in the fountain. Traces of Mr. Master's chocolate were also found in this very fountain. In other words, the blood was washed down the stream, which then flowed into the fountain. All of this points to only one possibility. After the body was removed, someone erased the bloodstains. Von Karma, where was the body really found? If you really found that body, you should be able to answer.
How do you know about this information? How do you know the results of the water composition test on the fountain?
Well, we just asked.
Because I allowed them to investigate. Bad. Always a thorn in my side. From here on out, I will not allow you to associate any further with this case. It's not like you were letting me do much anyway.
Von Karma, you still haven't answered my question. Or are you admitting to the fact that you didn't find the body after all?
You say I never found the body. Where's your evidence?
He's never going to confess. I mean, it's hard to prove the, the lack of something.
I have nothing further to say to you. Gregory Edgeworth, this matter will be decided in court. We'll see just how well your logic holds up there.
Von Karma, I know your methods are wrong. I promise, without fail, I will expose the truth you've hidden, except that didn't work out, did it? Doesn't really work out that way, from what we know. In the future / present. Detective Bad, I'm sorry, it's because you let me investigate that.
No, this was bound to happen, sooner or later. This is also the first time I have been restricted in my investigation. Your theory that they never found the body sounds pretty close to the mark.
That I will make clear in court.
If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Even though I'm no longer in charge of this case.
Then, though I'm very sorry about this, I have one more favor to ask of you. Give me your number. Hey, what are you guys whispering about? I want to know too. This will be my trump card in court. The information I've gathered up until now should be enough to prove Mr. Master's innocence. But if all else fails, I'll have this ready. Your trump card? You'll see the trial. You see at the trial. Wow, I get to be at the trial too? Of course, you are my assistant after all. I'll be an ace attorney too next year. Von Karma will never beat the two of us. Right. Although I hope to clear Mr. Master's name before you become a lawyer. If Von Karma is to be my opponent, he'll want this trial ended in a day. That's right, we have to save Master Jeff as fast as we can. After all, this is you we're talking about, I'm sure you'll beat Von Karma. Knowing that this trial goes on for a year before Master gets found guilty anyway, is kind of sad. You know, reading all this here. Jeff Master, alone in a dark cell, arrested on false charges. I must expose Von Karma's lies if I am to save him. And then... things didn't quite work out very well. I guess I'll continue this time. But I'll still, like, you know, since I have something to do, you know, the King of Fighters stream later today, I'm gonna stop in like half an hour at the latest, I guess. Roughly, of course. Back in the present. And that's all Uncle Ray knows about the IS-7 incident. So that's what happened in my father's last case, the truth is of the IS-7 incident. And now I guess we found the body, it was preserved, maybe until now? Or maybe it's a sculpture, I don't know, let's see what happens. What happened at the trial? In the end, Von Karma defeated us. So you couldn't prove Mr. Master's innocence? I mean, otherwise he wouldn't still be in jail. We had gathered plenty of evidence to prove it, but von Karma was even more despicable than we thought. He was a prosecutor who would do anything for his guilty verdict. That's right, and he really did use any means necessary. Because of this, the trial dragged on for about a year, until it finally reached a conclusion. I'll never forget that fateful day, when the judgment was passed down the 28th of December. It's April now, so it's been a little over 17 years. How time flies. The 28th of December, 17 years ago. I was watching from the gallery that day. Before the trial, your old man noticed that Mr. Master was acting strangely. He was at the breaking point, both mentally and physically. He wanted to be found guilty. No, Mr. Master didn't fake a confession, did he? Yeah, that was what von Karma was aiming for from the start. When your old man tried to expose the fact that the body had not been found, von Karma used the power of his police cronies to quash that argument. He even went as far as to prepare a fake autopsy report. Then, they made Mr. Master give a false testimony and confess to being an accomplice. An accomplice? With Mr. Master's confession, the situation quickly became dire. But your old man had a trump card up his sleeve. Was that the trump card he was talking to Detective Bad about? Yeah, that trump card was to be our insurance, in case Mr. Master confessed. He had asked Detective Bad to have Mr. Master's interrogation recorded. Detective Bad wanted to know the truth too, huh? After he was dropped from the investigation, he never stopped caring about the case. Even when he was involved with other large cases, he really was the definition of a true detective. What a good guy. The defense presented the recording, which proved that the confession was forced. Well, it seems the detective in charge of the initial investigation and interrogation, Rip Lacer, took all of the blame and was charged and dismissed. Still, at the trial, your old man exposed von Karma's corruption, and von Karma received his first penalty from the then chief prosecutor. The only penalty in his 40 years of prosecution. You know, outside of losing that case to a specific Mr. Phoenix, right? Ace Attorney. But I guess that's not a penalty, that's just a loss. However, Mr. Master didn't want the trial to continue any longer. And the curtains closed on the trial that day with a verdict of guilty. My memory of that time is fuzzy, but I was also there watching my father's final trial. And I think his final regret became my own. The old man wanted a retrial to prove Master's innocence, but he passed on before he could fulfill his wish. After getting entangled in another case. A very specific case. A pretty good one, if that's not too cruel to say. It breaks my heart even now that I didn't return home with him that day. And what's more, to blind myself from my own worthlessness. Uncle Ray put all of his hatred on you as a traitor for being von Karma's pupil. I mean, you know. Understandable, kind of. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's natural you would hate me. After I became a prosecutor, I was able to get von Karma to show me the case file. Mr. Master was found guilty for the murder of Isaac Dover. That's not right. Wasn't Mr. Master found guilty of being an accomplice? But this case file says guilty of murder. There shouldn't be anything unresolved in that case. In the cases handled by Manfred von Karma. Well, but he is in jail and wasn't, you know, killed, like apparently happens usually with guilty murder criminals. Culprits. Wait, can I take a look at that file? It looks like the charges have been rewritten. What? Look at this. So, Von Karma fucking scribbled over his own files because he's just that much of a fucking narcissist. He couldn't deal with the truth. Jeffrey Master, 39, creator of the dessert contest. The victim's body was found inside a dessert made by the suspect. This led to his arrest. In jail, he was diagnosed with hypogusia. Do you know how to pronounce that, Fiber? It was explained what it is, so you don't have to tell me that, but how to pronounce it. And he was treated by medicine. After his own confession, he was convicted as an accomplice to the murder. The charges accomplice to murder. This is a copy of the original case file I received from the courts. Why would the charge be altered? This file was given to you by Von Karma, right? Maybe he just didn't want you to know the truth, since you're Gregory's son. He would have wanted to avoid another retrial before the statute of limitations ran out, after all. So what I had come to believe back then had all been a lie. If you didn't know about it, just make sure you know it from now on. The statute of limitations has long expired, but the truth still sleeps right here. After the old man passed away, Uncle Ray took over as Mr. Master's defense attorney. Although Von Karma also had another prosecutor take over the case. Perhaps he thought that since his opponent was a rookie, he didn't even need to turn up. In the end, the real killer was never found, and Mr. Master was found guilty. No, is there something we can do even now? Since the killer was never found, he can't withdraw his confession. I found out after the trial that Mr. Master made a deal with Von Karma because Von Karma had threatened him. If you don't confess, Catherine Hall will be held under the same charges. That's terrible. I don't think Mr. Master really thought that Kate was the killer, but to protect her, he faked a confession. But good old Von Karma. Manfred Von Karma, that is. Obviously Franziska is way different and better and cool. On the day that Knightly Boy was killed, why do you think Uncle Ray was at the prison? Ah, I see. You went to see Mr. Master, didn't you? I said I'd visit him every day. I couldn't keep that promise, but I asked Katie Pie to look in on him for me when I couldn't. Through rain or snow she went every single day without fail. But nothing has changed, and Mr. Master still serves his punishment. That's so sad. Isn't there anything we can do? We can find the truth. That's why I came here. Because I knew those ice sculptures would be on display here today. So, what are you going to do, Miles? I'm a prosecutor. My position is different from you and my father. Miles. But moving past my position, what I want as Miles Edgeworth is to know the truth of these two cases. It is for that reason that I am here. You really are your father's son. Well then, if that's what you've decided, I'll support you all the way. I'd better leave the IS-7 documents and evidence with you then. Alright, here are the documents. By the way, the parts in orange are Uncle Ray's old notes. Thank you. Let's look at them. Oh, I guess this was just updated. The statute of limitations ran out on December 24th, 3 years ago, Because the victim's body vanished, there appears to be no autopsy report. Is that the true reason? Thank you. And now, here's the IS-7 evidence. IS-evidence. There's a lot, so make sure to look it over while you investigate. A lot of IS-7 evidence. That's one way to put it, I guess. Ah, it's not here yet. Is it here now? There it is. I guess it's not that much, actually. Just 4 pieces. But hey, that's plenty. Right. I'll check through it later. Anyway, there are so many strange things about this case. Indeed. Those involved in the case 18 years ago have reunited, and another incident occurs. Replicas of the statues from 18 years ago were displayed in the Winter Palace, and poison gas was released in the Autumn Palace, which had been disguised as the Winter Palace. The two chemicals in the Pisces case, normalium and fatalium, were mixed, causing an outbreak of poison gas. The victim of the poison gas was Dane Gustavia, a person involved in the IS-7 incident. Because he was unconscious, he received treatment in the Zodiac Art Gallery's infirmary. Finally, the dead body found floating in the fountain. Yeah. And once again... Oh, I guess he was going to reveal who it is, but I guess we'll have to wait a little longer for that. And once again, the ice sculptures have melted. There are deep connections between the two cases. It's possible there are still some clues left from 18 years ago. Right, let's get started. Just 1 second, don't tell me you've forgotten about me. I would have liked to forget about you. But every time I do, you kind of have a way of showing up again. Didn't I tell you that I'm the one in charge of this case? Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you intend to continue disrupting Sebastian's investigation. The word guilty, with the special sound effects too, will be added to your PIC report. What does she mean, guilty? Please allow me to assist in your investigation as before. I appreciate your proposal, but I'm afraid I must overrule it. That was fast. Even though we're short on hands to identify the victim right now, it's only a matter of time until we figure it out. I guess a really dark way for the victim's identity to be would be, you know, the guy's son. That would be fucked up. But it's probably not, right? In that case, I shall take that load off your shoulders at once. Regarding the identity of the unidentified body, one person comes to mind. Yeah, really? Then tell us. Very well. So it is Gustavia. No, wait, not Gustavia, Dover. It's not just the sculptures that have made a comeback from the incident 18 years ago. The body in the fountain is... where is he? This guy. I assume. It's likely that the identity of the body is the victim of the murder that occurred here 18 years ago. Isaac Dover. It's Icy's body. Hey, who's that? I've never heard of him. Mr. Isaac Dover, a truly great sculptor. But he was better known as Pierre Hoquet. The sculptures on display here in the museum are all his creations. Ah, so in other words, that sculpture was the best. Somehow I feel a strong kinship to him. And he was the victim of the IS-7 incident. She knew about the IS-7 incident. Prosecutor Edgeworth, the IS-7 incident occurred 18 years ago. And that what's more, the police reported the removal of the body. That's what's on the record, but I wonder if that really is the truth. What are you saying? The defense attorney in the IS-7 incident claimed that the body was never found. Not that the prosecution would ever admit to such a thing. Well, we can probably check if that is the guy, and if he is, then that has been proven. Hello? Really? Is something wrong, Sebastian? No, it's just they said that they know who the victim is. Well, let's hear it. It's just as that prosecutor says. It's Dover. No, it can't be. Huh. It would seem my father's suspicions were correct. What is it, Judge Courtney? Have you finally realized that I'm much more helpful than Mr. the Best? Hey, you! Are you trying to steal the Best's position for yourself? I'm doing no such thing. I just want to know the truth. And for that to happen, we need to cooperate, no? The truth is none of your concern.
Objection!
I don't think that's true, Courtney Pie. You again. Uncle Ray assisted the defense attorney involved in the IS-7 incident. The one who claimed that Mr. Dover's body was never found. The prosecution denied it at the time, but now the body has been discovered here. In other words, the IS-7 investigation was unjust. And isn't it the duty of the PIC to investigate corrupt prosecutors? Then wouldn't you want to cooperate with those who were involved in the case? Unless you have an ulterior motive. Now that I think about it, Judge Courtney knew about the IS-7 incident, so it would seem she really is here because of the PIC. Even if you're related to the incident, I don't see how Prosecutor Edgeworth is. Actually, he is the son of the attorney in that case, and a prosecutor taught by von Karma himself. And what's more, he was in the audience at the IS-7 trial. I'm sure there are many points he can enlighten us on. Very well, I will allow you to cooperate. However, your investigation must not hinder the other investigators. The Winter Palace is currently being investigated by the fountain, but the fountain patio is open to you. That's my Courtney Pie. Now we're talking. As thanks, I will allow you to have a hug with Uncle Ray. Maybe going a little too far there. Overruled. If I need your cooperation, if I feel your cooperation isn't needed, I will have to ask you to leave. Understood. Isn't that great, Miles? Now we can start investigating. You really helped us there. Uncle Ray did it all for himself. Huh. Alright, Uncle Ray's going to investigate too, so let me know if you figure something out. Got it. Okay. Right then. Okay, let's begin the investigation. Okay, let's do this. We still don't know where Mr. Dover's body and the Normalium were hidden. We don't have enough information to go on. You're right. Our first priority is the Normalium. Well, Normalium is used in washing detergents, paints, and the like. If I recall, it's red liquid with a minty aroma. Well then, let's get looking for that Normalium. Shoo. And with that, I guess we'll stop here. Because I feel like if I keep going, it'll take too long. And this seems like a solid stopping point. So yeah. Thanks for watching and stuff. In about an hour, there's gonna be some King of Fighters action on twitch.tv/hardedge_org, where I will be commentating. I don't think I'll be playing today. But it should be good. It's in German though, but you know, if the language of fighting games is universal. But then later that day, I guess, a little past midnight, or around midnight, I guess, I'm gonna probably do another stream of my own to get started with Splatoon 3 as soon as possible. So I'm hoping that's gonna work out, just like it did with Kirby and Xenoblade 3. And I hope I'll have your cooperation there, or something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, hanging out, reliving the past with me from 18 years ago, and stuff. All that stuff. Good stuff. Yay. So, I'll see you later, hopefully. And if not, then next time. So, お疲れ様. Bye bye.